uh, Matthew 15, starting at verse 1. Then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? For God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, Whosoever shall say to his father or mother, It is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me,
Coben.
and honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your traditions. Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And he called the multitude and said unto them, Hear and understand. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man. Then answered Peter and saith unto him, Declare unto us this parable. Jesus said, Are ye also yet without understanding? Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out into the jaw? But those things which proceeded out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. For out of the heart proceedeth evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witnesses, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man.
That's a lot there, y'all.
A lot.
Can you find that one in Mark? Is it Mark 7?
It is Mark 7, yeah.
Where was it? Mark 7, somewhere around the 20th verse? I can't remember. Where he's saying the same thing, and we have to find the parallelism here, because Mark says something different.
At verse 18, and he saith unto them, Are ye so without understanding also? Do ye not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entereth into a man, it cannot defile him, because it entereth not into his heart, but into his belly, and goeth out into the drawer, purging all meats. And he saith, That which cometh out of the man, that defileth the man. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man.
Boy.
Was
Or
there
were
some-
you, I think you were talking about the reference to Corban?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
verse, we'll start at 10. For Moses said, Honor thy father and thy mother, and whoso curses father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, If a man shall say to his father or mother, It is Corban, that is to say, a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, he shall be free. So in other words, this Corban vow was supposedly a vow that they had made to the temple.
Yes.
And so to get out of supporting their parents, they would say, well, it's Corban. You know, my funds are for Corbans for the temple.
Yeah.
Therefore, I can't support you.
Yeah. Ain't that something?
It's something.
Vows were strict. They were kept by the Jewish people. I mean, it was like, you know how when we want to insult somebody, we say your mama.
Right, right.
Don't say your mama. I mean, because that's
fighting
them
words.
fighting words,
Yeah.
brother. In the Middle East, the insult is either they spit on you or they throw a shoe at you. You remember George Bush was
That's
in a
right.
meeting? That guy took off his sandal and
Duck,
threw
yeah.
it. That was the greatest insult.
Right.
All right. And then, so talking about your parents, Jesus is brought up, okay, your parents,
Right.
you all are trying to keep the law. but your mama and your daddy, okay, it's basically what he's saying. And they were using the excuse of the Corban law,
Right.
not law, but vow.
Not to take care of them.
Right.
Yeah.
That was their excuse to
Right.
That was their
disobey
excuse.
the law.
Right.
But the problem was that they had every right to do a Corban vow, but they didn't even use it for what they vowed because it was supposed to go to the temple.
Right.
They didn't even give it to the temple.
They
Yeah.
kept
Right.
it.
They kept
They
it.
kept it.
Yes. So Jesus is saying, all right, true. He uses the Greek word. He says, that's true that me and the disciples didn't wash our hands. You got us. You got us. All right? He says, but you did something worse.
Yeah.
You wouldn't take care of your parents. And he says, you are worthy of death compared to the law, which you pushing on us.
And
And
that
so,
makes you a hypocrite.
yeah, that makes you
Yeah.
a hypocrite, which makes you worse.
And Jesus uses the word also here. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also
Also.
transgress the commandment
I wonder
of
why
God
he's
by your
used
church?"
also.
Yes.
He said, you basically saying, you got me.
You got it.
Right.
I did it.
You
But
did. Yes. But this hand washing, was it really the law or was this a tradition?
right.
Because to say that Jesus breaks the law is to erase him from who he is.
Right, it was tradition.
It was
for sure.
tradition.
And that's with the last verse. These are the things which defileth a man, but
Yeah.
to eat with unwashed hands defileth not.
Right.
And in the Amplified it says, but eating with ceremonially unwashed hands does
Absolutely.
not defile a
Yeah.
man.
Yep. So they were caught up on the ceremonial aspect of it.
Right.
They really didn't care about washing their hands before they eat. They cared about you breaking the rule in the book.
It says you have to wash.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
He might have broke the hygiene law,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, right. Right.
But the law, the
but
covenant,
the law, the covenant, not so.
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have to really pay attention to how Jesus handled this because notice, then instead of him talking to them directly, he calls a crowd over. I don't know if that's that part of this lesson. He
Right.
calls for a bunch of people to
Yeah,
come
and he
over.
called the multitude.
Why do you think he did that?
Yeah.
Why wasn't this a private matter between him and the Pharisees or him and the disciples?
Because it was a tradition, they were making everyone follow. And clearly that was a pain point, for the people. And so Jesus had to bring it to everyone. Not only that, but he's quoting Isaiah again. He's quoting the Old Testament,
Yeah,
saying,
almost word for word.
yeah, almost word for word. Look, it's not about it's about the heart. The people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth. He said, first verse 7, ye hypocrites, Lord, these people draw nigh unto me with their mouth and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me. Verse 9 is critical. Teaching for doctrines the commandments of not God.
In other words, teaching as doctrines.
Yeah,
Right.
not
Yeah.
of God, though.
Yeah.
The commandments of men.
Right.
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 I think there's a lot to that, calling them public, because the Pharisees were trying to publicly shame him to prove, look, this guy isn't who he says he is. He's
Yeah.
not.
Right.
He's not what he says he is. And he, in turn, wait a minute. Let me tell you something. Let me show you something.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a new rabbi in a sense.
Right.
Uh-huh.
He's a young man, new rabbi on the scene. The Pharisees are already jealous because there's fame. From last week, he talked about how there was fame that went out and about Jesus. And now he's trying to tell us we've been doing this forever.
Right.
Now you're going to tell us how to do something ceremonial? And you're going to try to teach us a lesson on the law? Nah, bro. No, you ain't doing that. And so he's not only teaching the Pharisees. Notice what the disciples is like. I think it was Peter. He said, hey, tell us about this. What you doing?
Yeah.
Because it's not in the Sunday school lesson, but notice, I think it was verse 11, 12, somewhere in there. The disciples was like, you offended the Pharisees.
Right.
Right.
That's something you do not do.
Yeah.
They are the Crips and the Bloods.
Yeah.
They're the disciples and the vice lords. You know, you offended them. Now you need to go back and apologize to them. And Jesus was like, no, matter of fact, I'm gonna do something bigger than that. I'm gonna gather up everybody. Y'all come around.
Right.
I got a lesson to teach these Pharisees. And every time he talked about them, it was always negative. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Because they were negative.
Wisdom speaks.
They were negative.
Yeah, man. I mean, he gave whole sermons on the Pharisees. He called them a nation of vipers.
Right.
Then he said they are of their. He says you are of your father, the devil,
Devil.
who was a murderer in the beginning.
Ooh.
Yeah, then he said it would be better for Sodom and Gomorrah than it would be for you.
Wow.
He did not like them Pharisees.
Yeah, beware the Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes of today. Be
Yeah.
very, very aware that Jesus is yet still talking to you. Those who put tradition above the law.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, with the 2 minutes we have, how do we apply this to our lives today? And do y'all see any similarities on how we as Christians operate in our churches? Do you see Pharisaic attitudes in our churches today? Do you have any examples?
I'm going to get in trouble if I say anything. Yeah.
She's going to need a mic. We're on live, so you got to have a mic. No.
You don't need to
No,
say sorry. It's okay.
we want you to talk.
Yeah, it's okay.
This ain't the Elder Jackson show.
Well, with the Pharisees, they only interpreted the law according to their benefit,
Yes.
to their
That's good.
benefit.
Yes.
So Jesus wanted all of them to hear the truth and how the truth is. So in today's atmosphere, it seems like when we see a Pharisaic person acting out, we sort of step back, and because they are still seem like the ones that are in authority.
Yes.
And then, and you know, and the thing is, which we was taught years ago, don't talk against the preachers. Don't
Yeah.
talk. Don't, but sometimes the preachers need to be talked against.
Yes.
Right.
You know.
Many
it-
times.
I know, we're about to get in
Especially
trouble.
if they're wrong.
Yeah.
You know, if they're teaching something that's against the Bible, and you reading it and they saying something different, do as I say and
Yeah.
not as I do. You know, we need to step up and talk about that.
Yeah.
But we seem to have a fear just because they stand behind the pulpit, you know,
Right.
with a Pharisaic attitude,
Yes.
you
Right.
know, that we're supposed to listen to them. But we're going to be judged according to what we do.
Yes.
And we have to know that, you know. So in today's atmosphere, they're all over the place. They're all over the place. Oh, don't talk about him. Don't talk about
Yeah.
that one. Don't talk about. But somebody need to step up
Somebody
and
gotta
talk
do it.
about it. So Jesus called the people around him because he wanted the people to hear the truth.
Yeah.
Not the what the Pharisees gonna interpret later,
Yes.
because they was interpreting for themselves.
That's good.
Yeah.
And that's actually scripture. You could keep it, mother. That's actually scripture. Jesus, when he was speaking against the Pharisees, he even said to them, he says, go ahead and listen to them, but don't do what they do. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah.
Don't do what they do. He says what they were doing was they were walking up and down the street and they were enlarging the boxes on their shoulders.
Yeah.
I remember the picture I showed y'all up there where the scripture says, write the word. And all right, so the phylacteries.
Phylacteries, yeah.
Phylacteries, all right?
They would
So
have normally they're small.
They're small.
But they were
They
Had
made
these
them really large
oversized, Yeah,
Really big.
because they wanted y'all to see that they were
very religious.
very religious,
studious,
very
spiritual,
pompous.
Yeah,
And Jesus rebuked them. Look at them, look at them, look at them. He said, don't call them rabbi.
Yeah.
They don't deserve it.
right.
Now, they are teachers of the law. Now you have to say there's three groups here. There's the scribes, there's the Pharisees, and there's the Sadducees.
Yeah,
The Pharisees were middle class,
Right.
but they were like blue-collar workers, but they were middle class. And they believe in angels, they believe in demons, they believe in the resurrection. And so they had a lot of people on their side. The Sadducees were a group who didn't believe in those things.
right.
Upper class.
They were upper class, and but what they did was they sided with the Roman Empire.
Right.
All right, and so but they didn't believe in demons, they didn't
Or
believe in angels,
resurrections.
they didn't believe in resurrection.
Right.
You know, and so Paul brought it up because Paul was like, I'm a Pharisee. I was one of them.
Right.
Son of a Pharisee.
Yeah, and he understood, which is why God gave him the ability to write the way he wrote, because he was part of the Pharisee people,
Right.
and he was persecuting Elijah.
Right.
So the Lord used him because he understood that whole
He
structure.
came
Yeah.
from that.
He came
that
from
group.
that. Yes, and then he had dual citizenship, and God didn't change his name from
Right,
Saul to
right.
Paul. I know we
Right.
like to say that, but no, he had dual citizenship. He had a
had both
Jewish name
names.
and a Roman name.
Right.
And so he was able to. He was the perfect guy for God to knock down on the ground, and and use him the way he did. So we see Pharisaic people in our churches today because we lean on their every word.
We look at the bishop that changed how he perceived Satan,
Oh yeah,
and because of his love for his grandparents,
yes,
Yeah,
It's
and
very true.
couldn't see them going to hell.
Yep.
And so he changed his whole
changed
doctrine,
it.
his whole church, preaching to his church. And a lot of people followed him.
And he remained a preacher.
Exactly.
So the Sadducees were priests. They remained priests, but they taught a false gospel. And unfortunately, like I said a few weeks ago, people got mad. Martin Luther King. He did not believe in demons, he didn't believe in angels, and he didn't believe in the resurrection. And yet he was considered a priest and a pastor,
Yeah.
an
We're
elder.
not going to talk about MLK. It's time for us to go.
Here we
That's
go.
right, here we go.
We go.
Here we go, boy.
Here we go.
consider yourself officially in trouble.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Let's get out of here now that I'm in deep trouble, and we'll get this thing started in-house. If you want to come in-house and see what Dr. Mynum looked like, y'all should come here. 1932 Dewey Avenue, and here in Evanston, and you just look down, and she always got some nice shoes on and pretty dress and nice hair and
thank
sparkle.
beautiful earrings. So y'all keep talking about you want to see her. Just come down to the church and you go look at her all right, and shake her hand, give her a hug.
See Jesus first, though.
You'll see Jesus in her, I promise you that.
Right.
All right? Meanwhile, go to faithtempleevanston.org, faithtempleevanston.org, and you can do what you always do. Thank y'all for keeping us alive. I appreciate you. 11 o'clock. We'll see you again. Same bad channel. Same bad time.
Don't forget, today is our musical at
Ooh.
5 o'clock. It's not a midnight musical this year.
Right.
5 o'clock. Be here. Be here. Be here. Be here.
5 o'clock,
Amen.
1932 Dewey Avenue. If you're in Illinois, come on, stop by and say hello to Laverne Gregory. All right? All right. We love y'all. Take care of yourselves.
Bless you.
Bye-bye.